hang on. I got you now. Let me send the invite to Daniela, and she'll be on.
We got this.
And we'll save the other one just for some outtakes and bloopers.
There you go.
There she is.
It wasn't working on my computer. I don't know why. So I'm on my phone. Okay, try it this way. Old school, old school.
Old school.
Oh,
Hi,
here
Daniela.
So here we go. Hi, I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Jalene.
And
I am Daniela.
and we
And
love to
we love
fast.
to fast.
You bet.
Today we're going to talk about diet brain. Okay? It's a subject that comes up very often, and so we need to talk about it. And right off of the bat, I want to say that I researched on the internet. I Googled diet brain. And guess what I found?
What?
What'd you find?
I found 10,000 things on the internet for brain diet. So everything you could imagine to eating more sardines, to eating more leafy greens. So there's plenty of information out there about what you eat affects your brain, but there's no information out there about how your brain affects what you eat. So that's what we're here to try and put the kibosh on today.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I think it's just a word that we use in the fasting world, maybe. Diet brain.
I guess it must be, but it's a legitimate word to me.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So what do you think the biggest thing about diet brain that I see is, of course, people want to go low carb, people want to go all these different things, but the biggest thing I see is calories in and calories out.
Yeah, that's the tricky one.
So tell me about that.
You want me to go first?
Sure. I don't care.
So, I mean, I guess technically, if you burned the same amount of calories that you ate, you could lose weight, but that's not how our bodies work. And when we're fasting, it's about hormones. So I stopped.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I stopped counting calories the day that I started fasting. The day I haven't counted a calorie, except for if I do like the 500 calorie meal, if I'm doing ADF.
Yeah.
But other than that, I do not want to count calories.
No.
It's a big waste of my time. My body knows what it needs. I don't need to put it into like a calorie calculator and track that. Our bodies don't work that way. Our bodies don't know what a calorie is. And
no,
I mean, you can't tell me that if I eat 100 calories of jelly beans, it's the same thing as eating 100 calories of broccoli. My body's going to process that completely differently. So
and your body's going to burn calories. Folks say, well, I'll walk and I'll burn these many calories, or I'll go to the gym and I'll burn these many calories. When I go to the gym 4 days a week, and I don't even think about how many calories I'm burning.
Yeah.
I just think, I just want to get stronger and continue to be strong and healthy as I age.
Yeah.
So here is a figure.
So we see it backwards, but is it?
It's 45 to 50 calories per hour. Even while you're asleep, you're burning 50 calories an hour, no matter what. Laying there motionless, you're burning 50 calories an hour. So average night of sleep, you burn 4,500 calories, So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, burning calories, that's you're going to burn calories no matter what you do. And so the calorie in, calorie out, and I have people all the time tell me, well, you're intermittent fasting, you're just doing calorie restriction.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I
There's
have a really good comeback for that for me. So when people said in the very beginning, I had a lot of friends who would say, well, you're only losing weight because you're not eating as many calories. And I checked back then to see how many calories I was eating. So I came to intermittent fasting after I was doing Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is a very low calorie diet.
yes.
I started intermittent fasting and I was eating way more food, way more calories intermittent fasting than I ever did doing a low calorie diet. And I lost 35, 40 pounds. I was eating better food. You know, Weight Watchers has a lot of, well, at least for me, I was eating a lot of processed food when I did Weight Watchers. And your body doesn't recognize that as food and processes it completely differently. So I was doing a low calorie diet, but I was not losing weight. It was not working for me. And for me, it was a hormonal issue. Too
Okay.
much insulin, too much eating constantly. Weight Watchers, it's like you eat breakfast, then you have a snack, then you eat lunch, then you have a snack, then you eat dinner, then you have a snack. It was just constantly eating. And even though it was technically low calorie, I wasn't losing weight.
That reminds me. I don't know if you remember years ago they had the Dolly Parton diet.
That is one I have never heard of.
Me either.
Do,
What
It
was
Dolly
must
that
be a
one?
Southern thing. You haven't heard
Dolly
of it either, Daniela?
No, 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 me either.
she
I've heard them
uh,
all. Also,
she was asked one time on an interview, how does she maintain her little figure, because she's got this tiny
tiny
little
waist.
waist,
Mm.
She's so
and
cute.
she said I eat 6 times a day. She
Mm,
said, but every time I eat, I just eat this little bitty portion. And
mm.
so it became a fad diet, of course, and it was called the Dolly Parton diet. And Weight Watchers is kind of like that. But I've got a video talking about calories in and calories out, and I know this is going to be backwards, but this is my acronym: calories in, calories out syndrome.
Mm.
That's
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
I watched a video this morning prepping for this after I got back from the gym. I don't know if you know the name Derrick Henry means anything to you.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's a professional football player, and he was one of the greatest running backs that came through the University of Alabama. He is a literal beast of a person, but he eats 1 time a day.
Wow,
This is a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
And so I got to researching it more, and there's a whole bunch of professional athletes who are doing OMAD.
Oh man, huh. I
And
never would have thought
Derek,
that.
and so you want to talk about caloric restriction? Derek Henry eats 3,500 calories
In one meal?
in
Oh,
one meal.
wow.
He eats a steak. He eats, and he's got a private chef that cooks all of this for him. He eats steak and a big stack of pancakes with syrup on them, and just
Wow.
he eats things that diet brain people will
Wow.
just absolutely freak out over, and he is in just immaculate health and
Yeah.
shape. Of course, he works out all the time,
Right.
but still, 3,500 calories.
Yeah.
Listen. I went to the gym today and I calculated it. Just getting ready for this. I did squats. I did extensions. I did all of these heavy lifting stuff, and I was throwing the weights around me and the two other guys I work with, and I calculated the calories that I burned. After a 2.5 hour session in the gym, I only burned 200 calories.
Wow.
So calorie in, calorie out, no, that's
Dr.
not it.
Fung recently had a video about how exercise doesn't help you lose weight. But he says
Right.
it's important. It's very important. You need
Yes.
to maintain your muscle mass, and having more muscle mass helps you burn more calories. But overall, like you can't go to the gym and kill yourself to lose weight. So you
No.
Well, they
should
say
do
many times 80% is nutrition, 20% is exercise.
Yes.
Okay. And I think a lot of times people restrict their food so much, thinking that, okay, if I kill myself at the gym, I'm going to be able to balance everything out. And that's not really the case.
No.
Okay. I mean, in my case, I was working out like 3 or 4 times a week, and it still wasn't working. I was trying to keep my weight balanced after already being in menopause for several years, but it was just before I was able to always glide with my weight, keep it steady. But then it just started to go up, and whatever I was doing wasn't working anymore. Working out wasn't working anymore. Eating less wasn't working anymore. So it's like, okay, what's going on? And then obviously, like Jalene said, it's a question of hormones, and that's something that's out of our control if we don't get a grasp on things. But honestly, I have to say, for me personally, in the beginning when I went and I read everything about intermittent fasting, and I thought, okay, yeah, sure, like where's the trick? Because
Yeah.
after having done all
Yeah.
these diets from Weight Watchers to Slim Fast to the little chocolate things that were like a substitution of a meal, like, okay, well, where's the trick? Because it can't be that simple. It just can't be that simple.
But it
And when I
is.
first started, but it is, okay. And when I first started, and after several weeks and a couple of months, and I saw that I was just gradually losing the weight, and I wasn't working out as much as I was in the beginning. And I really haven't changed my diet even now. And, I'm lucky that I live in Rome, I live in Italy, but I grew up in the States, okay? So I see how both worlds eat, okay? And the quality of the food is very, very different between the States and Italy. Okay, so what I ate before, I basically still eat now. The only thing that I really cut back on a lot was sugar. Okay, I would drink like a glass of regular Coke, never drank diet soda, I always hated diet soda. It was just like a glass of Coke with like my dinner, and I cut that out. But everything else, I mean, I still eat pasta, I still eat, and my diet is basically a Mediterranean diet, so it's fresh everything, fresh vegetables, fresh fish, fresh fruit, pasta, bread, okay, and pizza, but I make a lot of stuff at home too. I make homemade, sourdough bread. I'll make my homemade pizza dough, that kind of thing. I love to bake. I love to bake more than eat it. I make it more for my husband or for my son or for friends or whatever. But honestly, I can't say that I changed my diet completely. I'll drink a soda every now and then if we go out for pizza or something like that. But otherwise, I can't say I've changed my diet because I'm very lucky that here food is very different compared to the States. It's a lot less ultra processed foods. The grains here are very different. I have friends that have problems with, allergies in the States. They come over here on vacation, they eat the pasta, they eat the bread, they don't get sick. Okay, because a lot of the things that are permitted in food in the US are not permitted here. Okay, so there's a big difference in quality. Okay. And we were saying yesterday in one of the posts how healthy foods are so expensive in the States. Here it's not that way. I
Yes.
mean, vegetables, there no prices aren't crazy for fruits and vegetables. Okay, here you can afford to buy good, healthy food. So when I would eat, getting back to the beginning of the diet, I would eat good food like I always did. And I love to cook. Okay, so I'm always cooking at home. And I would just get filled up. So whatever I ate, I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I would eat for lunch like a big salad with always something protein, whether it be, I don't know, eggs, cheese, tuna, fish, something was always some kind of protein. And then try not to snack during the rest of the meal. And then in Italy, we eat dinner late. Dinner here is like 8 o'clock. Okay, so we would eat dinner at 8 o'clock and with either meat or chicken or pasta or whatever it was, and close up around 8:30, and then just eat again the next day for lunch. But the quantity of food maybe decreased a little bit, but the types of food didn't really change for me. So many times when I tell people, oh, I lost 20 pounds in 4 months eating pasta, they look at me like, the carb people have fits when you say you eat pasta, you
They
eat bread,
really do.
they look at you, baked potatoes, that kind, even French fries. Okay. And that's not something that you obviously eat every single day. It's almost like the same rule, the 80-20%. 80% of your food should be healthy, nutritious, okay, real food, whole food. And 20% can be, the stuff that you don't eat every day that we shouldn't eat every day. But it has to be a balance. It cannot be something that is so far-fetched that it cannot be sustainable. Because when we go back to the beginning of everyone going through diet phases and all the diets that we've tried, it was always, okay, I'll do this for 3-4 months, and then I'll go back to eating the way I did before.
Yeah.
Okay, without learning that you really have to watch what you eat, okay, and the quality of food that you eat. So when we talk about, calories in and calories out, it's true, but you can't eat at McDonald's 3 times a day, okay,
That's right.
because you're getting too many calories and you're getting the quality of food is awful.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so it has to be a
that's
combination of both worlds.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
that's like one of my favorite things, and it's in my book that I like to break, and I even put the recipe for it in there. That I break my fast with is eggs and cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not because of a diet. That's because the protein helps me when I'm breaking my fast. And say hello to my granddaughter.
Hi.
Right.
The protein helps me when I'm breaking my fast not to be as hungry,
Right.
and
Later on. Mm-hmm.
and then the cabbage is there just simply because it's such a wonderful, good vegetable.
Do you eat
Mm-hmm.
cabbage with onions?
Yes.
That's how I cook it too. Cabbage, onions with butter. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Oh,
so
well,
good.
how do you cook it without onions?
Yeah, I mean, some people do. I don't know. I couldn't.
Okay, so but see, even that is not really diet brain. But
No,
but
no.
diet brain is saying that, well, yeah, I'm going to fast, but I can only eat low carb.
Mm.
That's not
Yeah,
true.
it's different, I mean, we always go back that everybody has to find what works for them. I think the key point for a lot of people is they try to get out of that pattern when they realize that it works. Okay,
Hmm.
because the diet always takes you to something that's not going to be able to be sustainable in
Yeah.
the long run. Whereas this, once you realize when you're a couple of weeks in, a couple of months in, however, it takes for the person's body to get fat adapted and to get used to this, you're making your body do something that it's never done before. Okay, and that's not eating 16 hours a day.
That's
We're just so used to always consuming food. Okay, so in the beginning, you really have to let your body get accustomed to not eating so often. Okay, and once you get to that process, and once you realize you're losing the weight, it's whether it be quickly or slowly, whatever it is, then you realize this is something you can do every single day, and that's where you have to drop that diet brain, because the diet brain means, oh, I want this cookie, but I shouldn't have it. Okay, I want that, whatever, fill in the blank, whatever you want to have, but I can't have that. I'm on
hmm
a diet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas when you understand you can have the cookie, 2, 3, 4, not a box,
Mhm.
nothing's going to happen. The world's not going to come to an end
Yeah.
if you eat a couple cookies or if you eat a hamburger and fries or whatever it may be. Okay. You get on the scale the next day because unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of people are just fixated with the number on the scale.
Yeah.
Well, now
Okay. Without
here,
realizing there's
yeah,
so much more that's going on. It's not just that number that's on the scale that fluctuates every single day, all day, every day.
Yeah.
We can weigh ourselves 10 times a day. We're going to get 10 different numbers.
well,
So true.
here's another important thing, and I know Jalene back me up on this, and I know Wendy would back me up on this if she were here, and we're going to have a four-way with her before too long. Um,
Yay.
it's not the cookie that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
it's like, okay, am I going to eat 6 Oreos, or am I going to eat a couple of homemade nice cookies with natural ingredients in them?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on.
Mhm.
If you eat the Oreos, you're eating stuff that you really shouldn't be putting in, and that's not diet brain. That's just looking out for you not
Mhm.
taking the poisons into your body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because, like
That's
you said, you're over there in the Mediterranean diet, and the pasta's better. And I wish I could
And
get some
olive
of.
oil. I don't know how much olive oil we consume here because we don't have salad dressing. I mean, you do, but you won't find like blue cheese salad dressing here. So
Mhm.
everything is extra virgin olive oil on everything, on your
Yeah,
salad, on your vegetables, when you cook.
yeah.
Okay, that's what you consume. So it's not vegetable oil. Maybe you can fry in vegetable oil because the price of olive oil is so expensive. You don't want to fry in that anyway. But
yeah.
everything that you consume with your vegetables, whether it be cooked or raw, everything's in extra virgin olive oil.
Hmm.
Okay, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
It's so good for you
Well,
too.
It
let
is.
let's go round table here, and Jalene, you start and just make a pitch about how it's not so much what you eat, but that it's when you eat, and the things that we know to be true. You go.
Okay. It's not so much what you eat, it's when you eat. Well, you go first. I have to think about this for a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I'll just say it.
Felt like a test.
Just say it like it is. When you eat with intermittent fasting is more important than what you eat.
Yeah.
To a degree,
I agree, right.
we just talked about whether am I going to eat an Oreo that comes out of a package? Hey, there she. Oh, am I going to eat the Oreo out of the package, or am I going to bake a cookie myself? And if I bake a cookie myself, of course it's going to be better for me. And of course I can enjoy that without any guilt or remorse. Now I could eat the Oreo and not have any guilt or remorse, other than the fact that it's got industrial grade junk in it.
So for me, the phrase "delay, don't deny." Have you read this? The second edition. It's so good. That phrase just jumped into my head, and I've never let it go. It really. I just tell myself, if I want a cookie, I can have a cookie. I'm just going to wait. And I fast. I'll open my window. I'll make a really good meal. And then a lot of times I don't even want that cookie after I eat. And it's not that I can't have it. It's not diet brain telling me, oh, you shouldn't have that cookie. I just usually don't even want it. And if I do, I eat it.
And all of that has happened to you because of intermittent fasting. And I talk about that in my book, and Jen talks about it, and everybody who's ever done intermittent fasting talks about how your tastes are going to change, and the things that you eat are just they're naturally going to change. You don't have to.
True.
You don't have to force yourself to change what you eat. It just comes naturally.
Starbucks tastes like poison to me now. If I get like a Starbucks, like a Frappuccino or something like that, if I open my window and have like a sugary coffee drink, it tastes like poison.
Well, you know
I can
why?
taste. I'm sorry?
You know why?
Because it is. Yeah, I can taste the chemicals. If we go to a restaurant and I take a bite of a fry, I can taste the seed oil. I can taste rancid oils. I won't eat it. It tastes awful to me now. And that's thanks to
Well, that's why home cooking is such a big difference, because you know what you're putting in, you know what you're eating, okay? And it makes a big difference. The quality of the food that you start with also makes a big difference. Okay. When they say everything's the same, no, everything's not the same. Okay. And I was laughing the other day to myself, Jalene, when I saw your picture of strawberries in your meal. You had a beautiful dish with fresh strawberries. And I thought to myself, see, that's something that you're not going to find strawberries in Italy in January, because everything here is seasonal.
Yeah.
Okay. You eat according to the seasons here. You're not going to find cherries in January. You're not going to find strawberries in January. Okay, so everything here is, and it was funny because this past summer, someone had put up a post with broccoli with some kind, I think it was, and I make that often in the wintertime, broccoli with Parmesan in the oven. And I said, oh, that sounds good. I'm going to make that. And I went crazy looking at the supermarket in August and September for broccoli. No broccoli. Yeah. We find broccoli here around October. Okay, so everything here is just seasonal. You just eat what's in season every season. You can't find things, fruit, summer fruit in the winter, and vice versa. Okay,
well, we all need to move to Rome.
The American food industry, and I've written a lot about this. I didn't include anything about it in my book, but I've written a lot of things about it, and I've talked a lot about it. When I was a child, you got oranges and grapefruits at Christmas time, because that's when they came. That's when the Florida crops came in. But now you can get an orange or a grapefruit anytime you want it, because it's coming from all over the world.
Yeah. Now here things are still very seasonal. Fruits and vegetables, very seasonal.
Yeah, and that's good. Well, listen, this has been fun.
Yeah, I love
as
always.
Yeah, I do. And so I'm going to wrap this up, but what we want people to know is uh, don't worry so much about what you're eating as long as it's good
Right.
quality food.
And we don't always have to be perfect. We don't have to be
No,
100% perfect. You know, that
no,
80/20 is just a good guideline to say the biggest part, the biggest chunk of our, let's call it a diet, our way of life has to be healthy. Okay, we don't have to be 100% perfect every single day.
that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's no
Because
fault in that. So if you want
I'm
the
not.
cookie, eat the cookie and move on.
There's
Because
no
sometimes it's like, oh,
wagon
what
to
the,
fall off of.
right,
I
exactly.
am definitely not perfect. I will
None of us are. None of us are. No one is perfect.
Yeah.
No one is perfect.
but
Okay. And we have to keep that in mind. That's all. Otherwise, it's not sustainable. If it
but
becomes
mhm.
a punishment, then it's something that you can't do every day. It doesn't have, this is not a punishment.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
Not a
It's not.
punishment.
No, it's not. Well, everybody say bye.
Bye, guys. Talk to you
We'll see
soon.
y'all next. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, guys.
Okay. Take care. Bye
Fashion.
bye.
Bye.